Can I ask everyone to please stand up, get the blood flowing? Let's have some fun here tonight. And I'm gonna challenge you. I want to ask you, if there's absolutely nothing in your life at this point that you want to learn more about, grow, or develop, then sit down right now. Awesome, you're all still with me. That went as planned. I also want you to think about, so all of you have just admitted that there is something. So I want you to all think about a specific thing in your life, whether it's something you want to learn more about, something that you want to get better at, something that you want to grow, or something that you want to develop. And I want you to isolate that one thing in your mind and think about it as I speak. And once you have that thing in your head, please sit down. Mr. Toastmaster, Madam President, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, I believe, like most positive psychologists, that in order to find success, we have to choose to be happy first, not the other way around, which is what we're taught in schools from the time that we grow up. So in choosing to be happy, I've done a lot of research and I've come up with a very simple recipe for developing that happiness that I've found has led to success in many areas of my life. And I'd like to share it with you so that as you think about that one thing you'd like to grow, maybe I can help you move along that path. Those three things are simple, and they all begin with the letter A. We have your attitude, that's 1. Your daily agenda, that's 2. And your actions, 3. Now they seem very simple, and you've heard those words before, but what do I mean by that? And I want to talk a little bit about that. So when I talk about your attitude, when you're in an honest, private moment by yourself, you all have voices, or a voice in your head that's saying things. What are the things that voice is saying to you? Is it talking about the things you're worried about? Is it focusing on the things that might happen that are bad? Is it focusing on all the things that might go wrong? If it is, I'm going to challenge you to change that thinking. And research shows that there's a very simple way you can do that. So if you want to change your attitude, you have to change your thoughts. So I'm going to challenge everybody to think about something that they're grateful for every day. And what I do, and maybe some of you can relate, I wake up every morning pretty early, and before I go to work out, I go for a walk and I listen to music. And in the beginning, I tried meditation, and I can't sit still. So I found a different way to meditate while I walk. And I focus on my breathing. I listen to some positive music that gets me charged up, and it's a lot of fun. But then I reserve about 15 minutes after that, getting fired up, to really focus on the things I'm grateful for. So I change the music. I listen to something that doesn't really have words, but it's music. It's actually the Rudy soundtrack, if anybody really cares. I love that music, and it strikes a chord in me. So I spend about 15 minutes just kind of going down the list of all the things that I'm so lucky to have in my life, like my wife, my kids, my parents, my family, my house, my car, my job, Toastmasters, my fellow Toastmasters. And I'll tell you what, Tony Robbins said, you can't ever be angry when you're grateful. And that is so true. And I've learned that I've been doing this for a few weeks now. I learned that by doing that, it is so hard for me to get angry and frustrated. And on the days that I don't have a chance to work out, which are very few, I'll do that in the car. I'll put that same music on and I think about it. It really gets the day off on the right foot, and it doesn't allow that voice in my head to say all the negative things that it wants to say. So if you're going to be grateful, you have to plan to be grateful. And that leads me to the second point, which is the daily agenda. I think it was John Maxwell that said, if you want to change something about yourself, you have to change something you do daily. And that is so true. So I'm going to ask you, think about what is on your daily agenda. Do you plan each of your days? Do you take the time, whether it's 10 minutes in the morning or 10 minutes at the end of the day, to think about what you want to do? I'd like to ask you to try as you move forward to think about that. And even if it's just one thing you want to accomplish that day, write it down. Plan for it. Also, as you're thinking about the things that you want to change, grow, develop, or learn more about, the only way you'll do that is if you do something about that daily. So when you are taking that time to plan, think about what you actually want to grow and make sure that is part of your daily agenda. And that leads me to the action. Your actions have to coincide with your attitude and your agenda. A plan not executed is a plan that's just a piece of paper with words on it. So you'll never actually grow. I'm going to ask that you think about one action in a little bit of a different term. And it kind of goes back to the thinking behind being grateful. I'm going to ask that you try to give something every day. And when I say give, I don't mean give money or donate your time to do charity. Those are great things, and I think you should do that throughout the year. But take the time to say thank you. So give your gratitude. Give it to somebody and mean it. Make sure it's something that's specific. And I guarantee you, if you start to focus on what you're grateful for, and then start incorporating the people that are in your life and letting them know what you're grateful for, you're going to start to see a change. And all of those things that you're trying to work towards to grow, learn about, or develop are going to come together very nicely. And what you'll find is you're just going to be a happier person and also at the same time become successful. So to wrap everything up, I'd like you all to kind of join me on this journey and focus on becoming happier. I'm sure there's lots of happy people in this room, but we can all afford to be a little bit happier. I don't think that's going to hurt anybody. I think it actually will help a lot of folks. So be grateful every day. Make sure you plan to be grateful every day. And plan to do something about whatever it is you want to grow. And then finally, once you make that plan, have the discipline to put it into action. Mr. Toastmaster?